That's true.
I'm not wrong on that. That's
You're not
history.
wrong on that.
That's a fact.
That is history. That is actual factual. Welcome back to our conversation. Chase and Rob here. We are talking today about. Go ahead, Rob. What are we talking about? We talking about North Korean troops being spotted in Russia?
I think a better way to couch the conversation is probably something along the lines of the overreaction of Western society to opinion pieces.
Oh my gosh! Thank you.
I don't know if that's the right thing to say.
I don't know. You silver tongued that one up. That was really well done. You churched that one up real good. I'm real
I sure
proud
did.
of that.
I told you before because we spent the last year. We shot a bear. You've spent the last half hour listening to me go on and on and on and on and on about current topics and things like that. And I told you before we started, I need to calm myself down because I'm getting way too animated. Way too animated. Because I don't want to spread my opinion and my visceral. I would much rather state facts and look back on facts. But yes, this topic did come about because of something I saw the other day and then a news article that I read today. And I saw something. This is not a political rant or anything like that, but I was watching, I think, Monday Night Football last night. And I saw an ad for the presidential campaign. And it was something to the effect of, if this person gets elected, then you can anticipate the rebuilding of America. And if this person gets elected, you can prepare for World War III. What kind of PsyOps are we running on the American populace?
Some sensationalism, isn't it?
A psychological warfare, fear tactics.
That's a joke. Oh, it's emotional manipulation, right? I mean,
yes. Yeah.
Of course. Who wants us to be strong?
That's genius marketing. As soon as you said that, I just had a light bulb moment. That's all marketing is. It's just a big psychological warfare. That's all it is, man.
Marketing is civilian PsyOps. Welcome.
Amen. Dude, I got to be honest with you. I have never, not one time that
Speaking of which, this podcast is brought to you by
the Free Thinkers of America. No, I'm kidding. I've never thought about it like that, but you're right. Marketing, that's exactly what marketing is. And that's exactly what our media has turned into as well. Because, let me state, hold on. Let me cite my sources. Let me cite my sources before you go in on me. I want to cite my source really, really quickly. Really quickly. So I'm on CNN. Give credit where credit is due. I'm on CNN. Here's the title of the article that I read that kind of piqued my interest. North Korean soldiers learning Russian commands and may be sent to Ukraine front lines, South Korean lawmakers say. That's my source. I'm stating my source. So go ahead.
I think it's hinging on the word maybe there.
Just like I asked you, I will pose the question to all of our desk talkers out there this morning. When you hear somebody say something, say the word, or words, it's 2 words, maybe. What does that mean? What is the meaning behind someone saying maybe? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not sure. It could be either this or that. I would say, if somebody said maybe to me, I would say, give me your breakdown. What's the ratio?
So let's put this, let's bring it back to who the majority of our audience is and who you and I are. Yeah. Right? So let's rewind the clock 10 years. Now I'm talking to Sergeant Hurst, right? Yeah. And this Sergeant Hurst is briefing you, Sergeant Hurst, and I'm presenting intel. and you ask me a question, and I say, maybe,
Then don't say it.
what does that mean to you if I say maybe? I don't know.
That's an automatic. That's an automatic. I don't know. Automatic.
Boom,
And
boom.
we don't say that. Don't tell me I don't know. That's never
So
the right answer.
why is that the headline? Why is that the headline on that article? To your point, it's sensationalism. It grabs my attention. And
Yeah.
it did. It definitely grabbed my attention. It definitely grabbed my attention.
Did it grind your gears?
No,
Didn't grind
it
your
ground them
gears.
to dust, bud.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this earlier. I was reading off headlines and I was going sensationalism, sensationalism. Like they're of course we all know it is, right? That's why people stopped watching the news. That's why you threw out a statistic, earlier saying that there's only a certain amount of Americans that still report saying that they watch the news. Well, I mean, you can't even trust that report anymore because what was the survey size?
And that's because you're right. Because you said, "Oh, I was watching the news yesterday," and I said, "Wait a minute, you watch the news?" You went,
Yeah.
"Yeah," and
Yeah.
I said, "Why?" And what was your response? So I can know about whatever you said. Sorry, I
Well,
was
so
paying
I can
attention.
know I look at the news like a jumping point, right? Like I want to hear the news articles, I want to hear the sensationalism, and then I want to go and I want to look into it if I care to look into it. Some stuff like, I hate to say this, don't stone me for this, but Taylor Swift's last album sales or her Eras tour or something like that. Like I'm probably not gonna go look that up. I'm proud of her for joining the Billionaires Club. Way to go, T Swizzle. I mean, I remember bumping you in Afghanistan 2007, 2008. I mean, come on. I got your back, girl, from way back in the day. But I mean, I just don't consider that newsworthy to me. Like I'm not gonna go look that up.
Yeah,
But North
we can
Korean
cancel the
soldiers
podcast now.
maybe. What's that?
We can
We're
cancel the
officially
podcast
canceled.
now. It's over. Thanks,
Just go
man.
ahead.
You
Shut it down.
blindly support the what are they called? The Swifties. All right, I got one in my house. Don't say those things.
I've got two in my house.
Don't say
I know.
those things.
Gotta
I'm sorry. Go
tiptoe
ahead.
around that
You were making a
conversation.
really good point. I apologize. You're making a good point.
No, it's just you gotta I go and I look into what I want to look into, right? So like the North Korean soldiers going over to Russia and training with the Russians. Well, I mean that's just reaction to what's going on in their sphere, right? Like you and I've talked about that before. I mean, I remember going and doing training on the 31st MEU, and doing Thailand, doing Corporal Gold, where we trained with the Thai Marines and the Filipino Marines. That didn't mean that we were going to war. I mean, it was a war exercise, you know.
I don't know, man. I I don't know. I look at the changing landscape, and we were having this conversation before we started. But the changing landscape of information and how it's being delivered to us, and these quick bite, attention grabbing sensationalism that's happening, and this is not a new phenomenon. It is
No,
not a new phenomenon. Um, but I think we're getting so much more of it at such a rapid rate now, especially with social media. And I am the first one to raise my hand and say, I can lose myself in reels. I can
oh
lose
yeah,
myself in TikTok, even though I don't
easily.
watch TikTok. But YouTube videos, what have you. It's really easy for me to swipe through 50 reels until I find something that matches how I feel,
Yeah, they have
and
a
then automatic
fantastic algorithm.
yeah, and then automatically assume that that individual who has vindicated how I feel is correct instead
That's
of
how I
doing
feel.
instead of doing the research. It's like Wikipedia has just never mind. I'm gonna hold that thought to myself, but it's uh, it's and I
Are you
do
saying that Wikipedia has come off the page, and as our kids would say, is in 4K?
it's in 4K, man.
It's in real
It's
life.
so it's so
IRL for us 90s and 2000s kids. I mean, come on. It's IRL.
it's so
BRB.
it's so easy to find individuals who will codify how you feel and find research that backs your feelings and your emotions. It's so easily accessible and readily available that it's borderline dangerous at this point.
I think what you just said in the scientific world would be considered confirmation bias.
Yes,
So we're looking for confirmation bias instead of
always.
actually looking objectively.
That's everybody, myself included. That's everybody all the time.
Well, everybody wants to feel like they're part of something, right? You don't want to feel like you're alone.
And everybody wants to be right. Again, myself included. I want to be right. Chase wants to
I
be
know.
right.
I have sat there and let you explain to me why I've been wrong before.
You're
It's
welcome.
fantastic.
You're welcome. And at the end of the day, what did you say? You're right.
Yeah,
Probably
you're
just to
right.
put, probably just to get me off the point, but it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because you
If
still
you feel
agreed
that
with me.
strongly about it.
It is interesting, and I think it's really important. Again, not we don't represent any kind of political anything here, but I will say it is vitally important, especially with a presidential race coming up and early voting open now, which I encourage everyone. Please get out there and vote. It's the only way to let your voice be heard, left or right. Whatever your decision is. Um, but I think
There is
we're
no
at
left or right with us. There's just people getting out and voting. Look, make your
yeah,
voices heard. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Make sure your voice is heard.
and I think we're at a
It's the
tipping point.
greatest freedom that you have. It is
Yeah,
the single greatest freedom that you have.
yeah, for sure. And I think we're at a tipping point in our nation, a really strong tipping point. So it's going to be interesting.
I do agree with you. I think it's going to be interesting to see where we go next. I think that geopolitics are interesting. I don't think this is the place for that. But
I want
you
to
can come
have
in
that
our after
conversation.
actions though, and we would love to tear that conversation up in some
Oh,
after
I am.
actions.
I am
Uh,
absolutely going after
if
that.
you, that is what it's there for. After actions, we're there for the conversation to
Look,
get a little bit spicy. And that means that we are not looking for people who agree with us. We actually want to have a conversation, not a one sided echo chamber. We're going to have a conversation. So if you do jump over and follow this thread or train of thought into our after actions, you are welcome. And we're excited to have you there.
yeah, and that's a well said, man. I agree with you 110% on that. The after actions and stuff. You and I don't even agree all the time, and
No.
but it's still an open and respectful place to share your thoughts and opinions. Now, that being said, if you're going to share your thoughts and opinions, that doesn't mean that other people don't have the right to share their thoughts and opinions, whether you
Yeah.
agree with it or not. But we can still be
Yeah.
respectful to one another whenever we do so. And if you
Yeah.
don't, you will be ushered out of that
Well,
rapidly.
it's not a debate. We're not going
No,
to debate. We're going to have a
nope.
conversation, and if you want to have a conversation with us, we mean conversation.
Yep.
Meaning come sit down with us. Let's have a civil conversation and let's talk about it and change my mind.
Yeah. And
You know,
don't get offended
I
whenever.
love, I love being proved wrong.
You reminded me of that guy who goes to the college campuses and
Oh,
puts up the thing.
awesome. Yeah.
This is what I think. Tell me why I'm wrong in 5 minutes or whatever it is. I
Yeah.
love that.
Articulate to me why I'm wrong. And he deliberately, takes on the not the affirmative, but the
Well, he's being antagonistic to
yeah,
spark discourse.
yeah. Well, to spark a conversation.
Yep. The problem is that a lot of people like to get in their feels about things, especially whenever they're not immediately. You're right. They're not immediately agreed with. People get offended, and then it turns into visceral.
I think it's okay to be upset. I think it's okay to disagree. What I don't think it's okay is that if you feel so strongly that everybody else to agree with you. Everybody has to agree with you. I think then you need to step back and you need to check who you are. And Think about that, right? Because the greatest thing about it here in the United States is that we have freedom of religion, freedom of belief. Okay. You could be an idiot. And one thing that I've learned in my life is that you can't fix stupid, and you can't argue with idiots. So
Well, isn't that the truth?
so there's no point of arguing with somebody. You can share the good news with them. Hey, good news.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I jokingly
Isn't that kind of
to
what we do here at DES? We kind of lead them to the water. You can only take a drink if you want to, man. Do your thing.
well, I think the more honest assessment is we're sharing our thoughts and opinions based off of what we see through the lens of military veterans and now private citizens who have a nuclear family. And that's the lens that we view things. And we're
That's
sharing
true.
our opinion. However, I do my best, and I know you do as well. We do our best to show that our opinions are based in fact. Now, going back to my point from earlier, it's real easy to find air quotes here for people who can't see me facts to back my opinion. And again, I will say that's part of the issue. That's part of the issue with freedom of information and the technology age that we live in. I can say the most outlandish thing in the world, and I guarantee there's hundreds of articles out there to support my opinion, and then I can show them as fact. Um,
You're talking about like a scholarly or a peer reviewed opinion
oh,
piece that's
don't
gone
take it there.
fact. I mean, what do you?
Don't take it there. You and I've had this conversation because I said to you the other day, where did you find that article on Google Scholar? And you laughed and you said, dude, they don't even show the kids how to use Google Scholar in school anymore. And so
Oh
what did
crap!
I
Yeah,
do?
yeah.
I
They
went to
didn't.
my fifth grader who's doing his
Yeah.
first research paper, and I said, where did your teacher show you to cite your sources? Like, what sources are you utilizing? Well, she told us to use Wikipedia. And I did not to him, because I showed him how to utilize Google Scholar. However, I also back the teacher because the teacher is an extension of me as a parent during school hours, and so I back the play. But Wikipedia is open source information. Anybody can get on there and edit that information. Anybody. Scholarly articles, I would hope, I don't know the statistic, but I would hope at least 90% of scholarly articles are based in fact, like scientific fact or research.
I agree. I agree. I would like to think that as well. I mean, that's why Google Scholar is so important whenever you're going and looking for those answers. Using and citing your sources, right? And that's one thing that I had that conversation. That's what sparked that conversation was that my son was trying to use Wikipedia as a as a source, and I teased him relentlessly. I had him go look up different things on Wikipedia just to prove to him that it was not a valued source. And then I went back and I started showing him what a trusted source is. These are good trusted sources. This is where you can go. Google Scholar is one of them. You can go on most university websites, right? You can go to dol.com, .gov. Like most of our .gov are supposed to be trustworthy sites. So you can go there. Department of Energy would be another one. Department of Education would be another one. That is supposed to be a good scholarly valued resource, or trusted. Excuse me, not valued. I mean, of course it has value, but trusted. Not Wikipedia, not Yelp. Not Google Answers or Yahoo Answers,
You know,
which is funny. But I mean, Reddit. I mean, how many times have you and I talked about going to Reddit and going into threads? And I've been guilty of answering Reddit threads on some stuff that I actually know about, but always back my sources.
well,
Whenever I list them.
if I
Whenever I
may,
comment.
really quickly, I think if you change the lens a little bit Reddit and Yelp, dependent on what is being reviewed, that is peer research. Just like if I look at a product on Amazon and I go down to customer reviews, which is how I purchase something,
That's true.
I don't look
That's
at.
true.
I look at,
Yeah.
does this product match what I need? And then I go down to customer reviews and I read through customer reviews, not just the 5-star reviews, not just the 1-star reviews, all of them. Not all of them. Okay, let me rephrase that. I don't look at all of them, but I look at,
a survey.
That's peer research, is it not? If I look at a restaurant, if I want to take my wife to a steakhouse on date night, and I look up the steakhouse on Yelp and I see reviews, this place is amazing, this place is overpriced, I could get a better steak at X. That's peer research. They have conducted field research by going to the restaurant and
you're not wrong.
And providing their opinion. I'm just saying.
That's true. But we have not all used the same criteria. You know what I'm saying?
You're absolutely right.
That's where I have to say no.
You're absolutely right.
We need to have a data set and a control group, and
you're absolutely right. Yeah. Because I could jump on your train of thought. We bought Leo lightsabers for Christmas 2 years ago because that's what he wanted. And so I was looking at the reviews because lightsabers are shockingly expensive. And so I went on there, and one of the reviews I read was, these don't make realistic noises from the movie. These lightsabers fall apart easily. I was hitting a tree with this lightsaber. Well, yeah, bro, it's a toy. Like, to your point, we're not all using the same criteria here.
We're not all using the same rubric. Okay, we're not.
The grading scale is not common. Still useful information. And it's like I told my son, hey man, you might not want to go around hitting trees with these lightsabers. They'll break. Right? That's good to know.
That's good trash. That's good. What we say in the military, that's good trash, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. That's good knowledge. That's good
you're looking up a 5-ton jack so you can change the oil on your truck, and you see some dude that said, this 5-ton jack will not hold up my 10-ton tractor. That's good to know, Bubba.
That is, yep.
That's good to know. Oh, crap. Okay. All right.
Where did this customer comment come from? What region?
Maybe we should start talking about the original.
Certified mechanic.
Maybe we should bring it back to the original topic of the podcast now. I don't even remember what it was. I don't even remember what it was. We jokingly said World War III.
Yeah, jokingly, and then we quickly walk that back because we don't want to get on that.
I'm not trying to sensationalize things.
Not trying to sensationalize people.
I don't know. I feel like we form such strong opinions based off of what we see for 30 seconds. And I think that's a shame. And it's exhausting trying to train people out of that. And I'm speaking from the parental side of me because my children are like that. You know, I said on a few desk talks ago that my youngest son wants to be a YouTuber because he watches YouTubers buy Lamborghinis and stuff like that. Do you know how hard it is to change that opinion? Like, that's a challenge. And then you extrapolate that across adults, and they see things like North Korean soldiers are learning Russian commands and may be deployed to the front line of Ukraine. And that's what people are basing, well, you know, we could have our next World War III based off of an opinion piece. Sure.
Could.
If you want to think like a preteen. Yes, you could.
I was about to say, it could. I mean,
could.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that could happen.
This quick hit society that we've cultivated, it's a problem. It's a problem.
You're a problem.
I am a problem. I am a menace to society. You know why? You know why I am personally a menace to society? You know why DES is a menace to the business world?
Why is that?
because we're trying to make change.
Yeah, well, don't say that too loud, okay? You
No, no,
might
no.
start something.
I will. I'll say it too loud. You know why? You know why I'm proud of that? Because I remember a specific individual telling me about 4 years ago, whenever I was presented an issue and given the opportunity to stand against something. I don't recall exactly what it was, so you'll have to forgive my memory. But I do remember you telling me, you know what, man, there's only a few people who've been put in a position to really make change, to really be a champion for veterans, and you have that opportunity right now. Don't throw that away. So, yeah, I'll stand up and say we're trying to make change.
Not everybody has that opportunity, man. I still stand by that. I think that you and I have been very strategic on how we got here, and I think that the opportunities have followed.
But
So,
why? I mean, I ask that question all the time. Why? I asked you that question the other day. Why have we been presented the opportunity? And you gave me a phenomenal answer that I'll share with everyone here. And you said because you and we were willing to take the chance, whereas other people aren't willing to take the chance.
no, yeah, I believe in what we're doing so much that I'm willing to roll the dice on it. I mean,
I
what's
don't
the
know.
worst you could say?
I think we're pretty awesome. I think we're pretty awesome. But that's just
I
my
like to think
opinion.
we're pretty awesome, but I'm pretty biased here.
My
I'm
parents think we're pretty awesome, or our parents think we're pretty awesome. My wife thinks I'm awesome.
my mom thinks I'm awesome. Hi,
And that's all
mom.
I need to know. She said I'm special. She's been telling me I'm special since I was like 2 years old, right after I fell
No, no,
down
no, no,
and
no,
hit my
no. We
head.
don't use those. We can't use that kind of language anymore in 2024. Okay.
Oh, what can I say now?
You say you need accommodations, but you
Mentally
were
ill, developmentally stunted. Was that
developmentally stunted
the?
would be a good way.
uh, all right, host. I think it's about time. But if I may say one last thing related to this topic, and I've said it again, and I'll continue to say it because I think it is wildly important to remind everyone that just because you see it in 30 seconds, just because you like the person, just because they said something does not make it fact. Just unless it's coming from me, and then it's fact. Okay? That's all I'm trying to tell you. That's all we've been trying to say this whole time. If you're here
Oh
listening
Lord.
to us, you trust us. We're right. Everyone else is wrong. No, I'm in all seriousness, widen your lens a little bit. Look at everything from a holistic standpoint. Don't we and I look at this from a national perspective. Like we have become a nation of taking such hard stances on so many topics. I'm not going to get specific because then people are going to tear us up. But we've taken such hard stances on things, and people have entrenched themselves in their opinions so much that we're doing more harm than good now as a nation. We are doing more harm than good to ourselves. And I think it's about daggum time we start getting back to being a nation of free thinkers.
Well, stop it with the silent. Stop it with your silence. I think you and I've said that before. I mean,
That's
get
what
out
you
and
told
vote.
me.
Make your voice heard. Stop the silence. Stop being a silent. Don't go to the polls thinking that's going to punish. The process. It does not punish the process. Going out and voting and making your voice heard, is part of the process. It's how you change the process. If you are like me and you're sick and tired of having to choose between lesser of two evils,
God.
then closed mouths don't get fed. If you're not willing to go and get involved, and you're not willing to be a part of that change, then step aside.
Yeah.
Because this isn't the podcast for you. This isn't this isn't the energy that you're looking for.
Come join us in After Actions. If you have strong feelings, left or right, come show me how wrong we are.
left and right. I would love, yes, come show me how wrong I am. I
Look,
would love to have that
you and I've said
conversation.
it.
Good gosh, I love being proved wrong.
Well,
I love it.
it. You're making yourself better.
I was
You
about to
think
say it helps me grow. Yes.
you think you're wrong, and then someone else comes in and they show you. I'm sorry, let me walk that back. You think you're right, and then someone comes in and shows you that you were wrong. You did. It's not about winning and losing. It's about growing as a person. To your point, and I think that's what a lot of people get hung up on. If I'm wrong, I've lost. What?
Mm-mm.
No, it's a positive, man. You're growing as a person. All right, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Let's continue this conversation over an after action because this is a good one.
All right, Death Stalkers, if you have enjoyed our conversation, follow us over into our after actions. We'll have that one posted up this week for you. If you are not going to join us in after actions, thank you so much for being here. We hope we didn't take up too much of your time today, and we hope that you still got something out of it. Come back and join us next week for our next conversation. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then.